All right, so we are going to graph slope-intercept. We're going to practice this. So when you're given y equals mx plus b, this formula, y equals, the slope, the m, is your coefficient of x. So my slope right here is 1/2. So I'm going to fill in all of my slopes first. So if I look here, my coefficient of x is -2/3. Or I could give my negative sign to the denominator. It doesn't matter. Both of these are the same. I look down here, what's my coefficient of x? Well, there's a 1 hiding in front of it. So my slope is 1/1 because slope is rise over run. It's a fraction. Here, my coefficient of x, right, my m value is the coefficient of x. It's -4, but I need to make it a fraction over 1. My next slope, my coefficient of x is 4/3. And here, my coefficient of x, there is no x, so my slope is 0/1. Down here, my coefficient of x is 7/2. This one, my coefficient of x is -1/1. My intercept is the plus or minus number. It's the constant. So my intercept in this problem is +3. My intercept in this problem is -2. My intercept in this problem, well, there's nothing, so it's 0. Here, my intercept is +5. Here, my intercept is -1. Here, my intercept is -3. Here, my intercept is -4. And last, my intercept is +1. When I graph them, I always start with my intercept and then do my slope. So my intercept here was +1. It's a y-intercept, so it goes on the y-axis. Here, my intercept is -4. It's the y-intercept, so it goes on the y-axis. Here, my intercept was -3. My intercept here is -1. My intercept here is +5. My intercept here was 0, always on the y-axis, the y vertical axis. It's the y-intercept. Here my intercept was -2. And here my intercept is +3. You do your intercept first. Then you're going to graph your slope from that intercept. So from this dot, I'm going to do the slope, which is rise 1/2. And I'm going to do that as many times as I can, up 1/2, up 1/2, and it makes a diagonal line. I can keep doing that. Instead of going up and to the right, I could go down and to the left, down 1, backward 2, and it still stays on that diagonal line. And there's my graph. On this problem, I did my intercept first, which was -2, and I'm going to, from that dot, do my slope, which is -2/3. So from this dot, I'm going to go down to +3, down to +3. I can do the opposite, up to backward 3. And there's my graph. This problem, I did my intercept first. Now from the intercept, I'm going to graph my slope, which is 1/1, rise over run. They're both positive, so up and to the right. I can continue it. The opposite of going up and to the right is back and to the left. Right? Down and to the left is what I meant. Over here, I started at my intercept, 5. And my slope is negative 4 over 1, or I could write 4 over negative 1. Both are the same thing. The negative just has to go to either the numerator or the denominator. Negative 4 over 1 means rise over run, so I'm going to go down 4 and positive 1. I'm going to do it again, because the more dots I have, the straighter my line. Here I have negative 1, and I'm going to go 4 over 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 2, 3. I can go negative 4 and negative 3 because it stays in line. This slope, intercept is negative 3. This slope is 0 over 1, meaning I don't go up any, but I go over 1. Up 0 over 1. It's a horizontal line because it's a 0 slope. There is no coefficient to x because there is no x. My slope is 7 over 2, meaning from this dot I'm going to go up 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and over 2. And from this intercept, my slope is negative 1 over 1, meaning down and to the right. Or I could go up 1 and negative 1, backward 1. And there's my line. I'm going to do the opposite this way. I'm going to count the slope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my slope is 7 over 5. My intercept is right there, negative 2. Y equals 7/5 x minus 2. You're going to complete these 3. Remember down here, it's the change in y over the change in x. So